Herod the Great, a name that echoes through history, evoking awe, fear, and intrigue. Revered by some as a master builder and condemned by others as a tyrant, Herod's legacy is anything but simple. He was a man who walked the razor's edge between brilliance and brutality, carving his name into the annals of history through deeds both monumental and monstrous. How did this ambitious son of an Idumean family, born far from the traditional centers of power, ascend to the throne of Judea? What lengths did he go to in his unrelenting pursuit of dominion? And at what cost did he secure his position in a world teetering on the brink of chaos? Herod's story is a gripping epic, rooted in a land fraught with political turmoil and cultural upheaval. It's a tale of alliances forged in the crucible of Roman ambition, where shifting loyalties determined life or death, and survival demanded not just intelligence, but ruthlessness. His rise to power unfolds against the backdrop of an expanding Roman Empire, where client kings were pawns in a much larger game, their throne secured or shattered at the whim of the most powerful empire the ancient world had ever seen. Yet Herod was no ordinary pawn. He was a man who bent the chaos of his time to his will, wielding cunning and charisma to transform himself from a provincial outsider to one of the most powerful figures of his era. Prepare to enter the shadowed halls of Herod's court, where whispers of betrayal carried deadly consequences and family ties were often severed by a blade. This is the world of Herod the Great, a world where brilliance and cruelty collided, where architectural wonders masked the bloodstains of an iron-fisted reign, and where even the most loyal were not safe from suspicion. His is a story of unbridled ambition, a legacy etched in stone and soaked in the sacrifices of those who dared stand in his way. Born into a wealthy Idumean family, Herod's early years were defined by privilege, but in the treacherous political landscape of Judea, privilege was merely a starting point. His family's wealth afforded him opportunities that others could only dream of: access to influential circles, elite education, and the resources to make strategic moves. Yet Herod understood early on that wealth without power was fragile, especially in a region perpetually at the mercy of Rome's ambitions. To survive, let alone thrive, Herod would need to become more than just a beneficiary of privilege. He would need to master the ruthless dynamics of Roman politics, where alliances were fleeting and loyalty was often measured in blood. Herod's sharp mind and unrelenting ambition set him apart from the start. He recognized that the key to securing power in Judea was not through local support alone, but by gaining the favor of the Roman elite. Rome, the undisputed superpower of the ancient world, held the fates of entire kingdoms in its grasp, and Herod was determined to position himself as an indispensable ally. His moment came when he forged an alliance with Mark Antony, one of the most influential generals of the Roman Republic. Antony was a titan of his age, a soldier, statesman, and a man with immense sway over Rome's eastern territories. Aligning with Antony was a bold gamble, as it tethered Herod's fortunes to a man whose power, while immense, was far from uncontested. This wasn't a mere political alignment. It was a calculated leap into a world of immense risk and even greater reward. Herod knew that gaining Antony's favor would not come through flattery alone. It required him to demonstrate his value through action. Time and again, Herod proved his worth through displays of military genius and political shrewdness, earning Antony's trust in a cutthroat arena where alliances were broken as quickly as they were made. Antony saw in Herod not just a client king but a vital partner, someone who could impose order in the volatile Judean region while advancing Roman interests. In the high-stakes chessboard of Roman politics, Herod positioned himself as an indispensable piece, knowing full well that one wrong move could cost him everything. But Rome was a place where fortunes could turn in a heartbeat, and alliances, no matter how solid, were always a roll of the dice. When civil war erupted between Mark Antony and Octavian, Herod faced a choice that could define his future, or destroy him entirely. His decision to back Antony wasn't made lightly. Antony had been Herod's steadfast ally, a patron who had elevated him in Rome's treacherous political theater. Yet the stakes couldn't have been higher. Antony's grip on power was slipping, and Octavian, his rival, was gaining momentum. Herod knew full well that aligning himself with Antony was a gamble with no guarantees. Victory for Antony would secure Herod's position, but defeat would leave him exposed, vulnerable, and very likely dead. The pivotal moment came at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, where Antony and Cleopatra's combined forces clashed with Octavian's navy in a decisive confrontation. Antony's crushing defeat not only sealed his own fate but sent shockwaves through his allies. Herod, once confident in his position, now faced an uncertain and dangerous future. Rome was no place for losers, and Antony's downfall cast a long shadow over those who had supported him. For Herod, this wasn't just about losing influence, this was a matter of survival. His entire world teetered on the brink of collapse, and one wrong move could mean execution or exile. In a move that displayed unparalleled political skill, Herod did what few others could. He pivoted. Recognizing that Antony's cause was lost, he made the audacious decision to approach Octavian, the very man he had opposed, and pledge his loyalty. This wasn't just a matter of switching sides. Octavian, fresh from his triumph, could easily have branded Herod an enemy and replaced him with a more compliant ruler. But Herod was no ordinary client king. He traveled to meet Octavian personally, leaving his own fate in the hands of a man who could have had him executed on the spot. What followed was nothing short of remarkable. Herod's persuasive charm, his reputation for military prowess, and his undeniable value as a stabilizing force in the volatile region of Judea turned potential disaster into a stunning victory. He didn't just survive, he thrived. Octavian, recognizing Herod's utility, not only spared him but solidified his position. By 37 BC, Herod was officially declared king of Judea, his reign endorsed by the future Emperor Augustus himself. It was a masterclass in adaptability, a breathtaking demonstration of political survival that secured Herod's place as one of history's most cunning and resilient rulers. With his position secured, Herod embarked on a reign of breathtaking ambition and unimaginable cruelty. His kingdom became a paradox, a land of towering architectural marvels and pervasive, suffocating fear. Herod's crowning achievement was the expansion of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, a project that would cement his legacy as one of the greatest builders of antiquity. The temple was a wonder of the ancient world, a beacon of cultural and religious significance. But beneath the grandeur of Herod's constructions lay a darker reality, a reign ruled by paranoia and blood. No one was safe from Herod's growing suspicion, not even his family. His wife, Mariam, the Hasmonean princess he deeply loved, fell victim to his fears. Believing her to be plotting against him, Herod ordered her execution. The act haunted him for the rest of his life, but remorse didn't temper his paranoia. Herod would go on to execute his own sons, Alexander and Aristobulus, convinced they sought to usurp him. His court became a place of whispers and betrayal, where trust was a rare and dangerous commodity. One of Herod's most chilling acts was the assassination of Aristobulus III, the young, charismatic high priest whose popularity posed a threat to Herod's rule. Feigning friendship, Herod orchestrated his drowning during what appeared to be a harmless swimming outing. This cold-blooded act set the tone for a reign defined by calculated brutality. Fear became Herod's currency, and he spent it without restraint. But Herod's ambition didn't stop at consolidating power. It extended to reshaping the very landscape of Judea. His architectural genius transformed the region. Beyond the Second Temple, Herod built the coastal city of Caesarea Maritima, complete with a vast harbor, amphitheater, and aqueducts, a masterpiece of Roman engineering and vision. He constructed palaces like the Herodium, a fortress palace built atop a man-made mountain that loomed over the surrounding countryside, a stark reminder of his dominance. These projects were not just displays of wealth, they were declarations of control, intended to immortalize Herod's name. Yet no monument could conceal the atrocities of his reign. The most infamous episode, recounted in the Gospel of Matthew, is the Massacre of the Innocents. Consumed by paranoia over a prophecy of a newborn king of the Jews, Herod ordered the slaughter of all male infants in Bethlehem under the age of 2. While historians debate the historical accuracy of this event, the story encapsulates Herod's reputation for ruthless self-preservation. It remains a symbol of the human cost of unchecked ambition and fear. Herod's death in 4 BC marked the end of a reign that left an indelible mark on history. He was a man of contradictions, a visionary who transformed Judea into a hub of culture and power, and a tyrant whose paranoia destroyed everything he held dear. His name is etched in both grandeur and terror, a cautionary tale of how the thirst for power can consume even the greatest of men. Herod the Great's story is not just history, it's a reflection of humanity's darkest and most ambitious traits. His legacy is a chilling reminder that behind the facade of brilliance, unchecked ambition can leave a legacy of destruction that no temple, city, or monument can erase.